The Pittsburgh Steelers just made another smart move, and the draft is behind us. Before we know it, the teams are going to be in camp, and the Steelers just made a pretty nice addition in wide receiver Robert Woods. He was just signed. Yeah, I get it. He's old. He's 33. This signing doesn't really move the needle, but this addition has the potential to do a lot for this whiteout room, and also it's going to have some roster ripple effects as well. Now, the signing of the 33-year-old, it has very little risk. It's a one-year, $2 million contract. And now he's jumped around a bit with the last 2 years being in Houston. Last year, he caught 20 balls for 203 yards. Not a huge year. He appeared in 15 games last year for the Texans. He started in 4. The nice thing about him is that he's also a returner. He averaged 9.6 yards per punt and 28.8 yards per kick return. Talking about a 12-year veteran. And there's some things that this means for the Steelers, and these are kind of some of the ripple effects. One thing about Robert Woods, he blocks his butt off on running plays, and he'd provide this support as a number 3, possibly a number 3 receiver, right? Now, you notice I said number 3 receiver, right? Is it possible? Is it possible he'd be the number 3 receiver? The positive is the guy can split out wide and enable GP to be utilized in the slot. That's something that just wasn't possible last year. There was really nobody that could hold down the other side as a receiver. But now DK Metcalf is here. It'd be so nice to have somebody like Robert Woods to be able to split out on the other side of the field and allow George Pickens to just work the slot, which he'd be an absolute beast there. So that's kind of something there. Steelers didn't really have that threat last year, and it kind of does something to the roster too, right? This now puts a guy like Roman Wilson, puts him in a more highly pressured situation. He might have to actually battle Scotty Miller for the final spot on this roster, and that's Austin. I think he's pretty much guaranteed a spot on this roster. He should anyways after his performance last year. So what else does this do? This provides a veteran presence, a guy who does the dirty work in the blocking game, and maybe the most important part of this whole signing, not his performance on the field, but we're talking leadership. A veteran presence in the locker room as he finishes up his career. It likely won't be in a full-time role, though, so more situational. Anyways, hard to predict that. Hard to say what his role is going to be right now, but he will not put up huge stats in this role. His last 1,000-yard season was in 2019, but all in all, it's a nice little addition for you guys. Let's sum up what he's done in the league quickly in just a second. Before I do, this is Sports Talk Steelers. Welcome. Primarily a Bears guy with the Bears channel. Justin Fields came here to the Pittsburgh Steelers, really brought me on. I started getting involved with your team. I'm always going to be a Bears fan in my heart, but I'm convicted to continue giving you guys daily Pittsburgh Steelers news. Like and subscribe. Help us grow this. It's been a lot of fun so far. So let's look at what he's done in the league before we go forward. We're talking about a 2013 second-round pick to the Bills, and Robert Woods, I can't talk, for his career, he's had 683 catches for over 8,200 yards and 38 scores. His best years actually came with the Rams, most notably 2018, and that was really his signature year. We're talking 86 catches, 1,219 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Now, there's going to be competition to make this team, right? In the whiteout room, it's looking pretty good now. Before, we are looking to hopefully filling this out for you guys as far as the wide receiver room, and now your wide receiver room is looking pretty robust. We're talking about the addition of DK Metcalf, then you have Pickens, then you have Calvin Austin. Now you slot in Roman Wilson, Ben Skowronek, I can never pronounce his name right, Scotty Miller, and now Robert Woods. So what do you think? I don't think everyone on this team is going to make it to the 53. I think the camp competition is going to be pretty fierce. Woods isn't even guaranteed to make the 53, so he's going to have to prove that he has plenty left in the tank if he's going to make this team. But because now it's a pretty darn good wide receiver room. And that brings us to the next question, right? Who's going to throw him the ball? The Aaron Rodgers saga, it's not over, right? The latest from Mike Tomlin, will he make a decision soon? And this is straight from your head coach. That's certainly a possibility. He just told the NFL Network on Saturday about Rodgers joining the team via ESPN. I'm not going to forecast the ifs and whens regarding not only him, but any other potential free agent. We've had really productive talks with him, and I've enjoyed having productive talks with him and getting to know him. And then on top of that, you're looking at the Steelers. They selected Ohio State quarterback Will Howard in the 6th round of the NFL draft last weekend. Now, he's going to join Mason Rudolph. Who else is in your quarterback room? I actually had to look at my notes. Skylar Thompson in Pittsburgh, unimpressive. Though the team is very much without a clear starter at this point, Mason Rudolph is basically it. Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, you guys went through that, splitting starting duties last season. Didn't exactly work. Both of these guys have signed elsewhere. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that. So I think this rookie in Will Howard, I think he's super intriguing. I think he could possibly be the starter. Stranger things have happened. So we're looking at his time at Ohio State. Howard threw for 4,010 yards, 35 touchdowns, and that's while being the leader for the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. And I actually like him. He's a humble guy. This is straight from what he had to say. It's not a matter of what happens out on the field or if I play right away. It's about getting better and it's about learning. This is what Howard had to say after he was drafted. And whoever's in the room with me, whoever's there competing with us, I just cannot wait to delve into this situation and to really give my all to this team, because that's how I do things, man. I don't do things half in. I will go all in, and I have every expectation that this next step with the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be amazing for me. And I'm actually here to agree. I think all this is going to come out in the wash. I really like the veteran signing of Robert Woods. I mean, what have you guys experienced over the last several years? Most notably, you had Deontay Johnson acting up in the locker room, just being a moron. He got jettisoned out of town. Didn't really amount to much afterwards. So then you had George Pickens, right? He's had some times that you could say that he's a little fiery, right? I think he's one of those guys that it's like he's hard to handle, but he's our guy that's hard to handle. I know that feeling, but he's had so many times that he needs to be railed in. He's had so many times that he's lacked discipline and maturity. I think adding Robert Woods to this locker room, he's a veteran that's been there and he's done that. The younger players can learn from him as far as receiving technique, but I really think he could be partially the glue that holds this locker room together, and most notably give some mentorship to George Pickens. I think he's a really good guy. I think he's a really good kid. He just plays with his hair on fire sometimes, and he gets too emotionally invested on the outcome of particular plays. We can have a big debate about that, but I'm not going to tear the guy apart. The thing I like about this Robert Woods signing is that it's a low-risk signing. He could really be an asset for whoever's the starter at quarterback, and just a really nice, steady presence in the locker room. You guys let me know a couple things in the comments. What do you think about the Robert Woods signing? What do you think about Will Howard potentially being the starter at quarterback if he really balls out in training camp and in preseason? I'm really curious to see what the consensus is on that. So appreciate you guys being here, and I'll continue to give you Pittsburgh Steelers news on the daily. We'll talk soon.